function model. Done. And the next step now is we need to create the inbound process code. Where do we create? W42. Okay, create the inbound process code W42. So we know the naming convention for inbound process code. The first four characters of message type will be the inbound process code. So what is our message type in our case? EMP MSG. EMP MSG. So let us give the inbound process code name is EMPM. So I'll go to W42 and create the inbound process code. So I'll go to W42, right? Change mode, new entries. I'll give the process code. What is that? EMPM. The first four characters of our message type. I can give any name, but there is a general naming convention followed. The first four characters of message type description. I'll say inbound process code, inbound process code for employee. Done. Then choose the radio button node processing by function model, processing the function model, and just save it. Done. Enter. Right. Continue. For the entry, access the function model inbound processing. So we need to specify to which function model this particular inbound process code should be linked. Continue. Yeah, here you can see it is asking for what? Inbound function model. So just somewhere here you will have it in the drop down. So I believe it is available at the end. Let me check it. Yeah, you can see since in the earlier step in BD51 we registered our function model as an inbound program. It is then that is the reason it is appearing here. I'll just choose this, save, enter, done. It is saved. Data is what? Saved. So we have created the inbound process code and we have linked our inbound process code with the inbound program, nothing but inbound function model. So just save it and go back, continue. That's all. So you can see here, processing a function model, linked our inbound process code with our inbound function, just like what? For material also. If you go to that material part also, so here, this is for material and what is the inbound function model? IDOC underscore input underscore matmas 0. For our employee also, it's the same thing. This is our inbound process code and this is our what, identification. That's all. Done. That's all. Okay. So once this inbound process code is created and linked with our inbound function model, the final step is what? We need to assign what? Inbound parameters for our partner profile. So let me go to W20. What is the receiver partner profile? 630 cents. I'll just choose the 630 cent. We need to assign the inbound parameters. So I'll just go to create inbound parameters. What is the message type? Message type is what? EMP MSG. What is the inbound process code? EMPM. You can browse here and check. When you browse here, somewhere it will be available. What is the name? EMPM. You can see we have this EMPM. Just choose that. That's all. Save it. Data is what? Saved. So all the configuration related to the receiver side is also done. Okay. So we have to write the logic in the sender program and we have to write the logic in what? Receiver inbound function model. So before that, anyway, I'm in the 810 client. If I go to ABAP dictionary SC11, what is the table we created? Says Z IDOC EMP. Okay, so the table structure is available in this 810 client, but if you go to the contents, number of entries, I don't have any records in the 810 client. The table is not blank table. So what is our agenda now? We need to distribute that particular employees from 800 client to 810 client. So we need to write the sender side program first. So let me just log off and log on to sender client. This is a receiver client. I'm just logging off. I will log on to what? Sender client. $800 client. So before I write the program, let me check whether my logical systems are assigned or not. Okay, I'll go to SALET code. I'm checking whether the logical systems are assigned to our sender and our receiver client. So under basic settings, under logical systems, assign logical system to client. I'll double click on the 800 client. Oh, logical system test here. Let me change it. What is that? 630 set. Let me save it. Done. I'll go back and double click on 810. This is 630 RE. Save it. Done. Save it and go back. So I've ensured that my logical systems are assigned. Let me check whether the model view is available or someone might have deleted. So I'll go to BD64. What is the model view we created yesterday? EMP model, I think. EMP model. So go to BD64 and cross check. Yeah, you can see EMP model is available. So 630 send, 630 RECV, that EMP ML. Just go back. So model is available. Now let us go to the selection program. That is outbound program which we created yesterday. Yesterday we created a blank report. So I'll go to ABAP editor. What is that program name we created yesterday? Z send employee IDOC. Z send employee IDOC, which is blank. As of now, there is no logic in. Oh, I copied the logic, but I copied the logic yesterday, right? Okay. So before I run this, what is the selection program for the material? RBD SC mat. Now, what is the T code? BD10. So if I run the BD10, you can see it. If I run the BD10, I'm getting a selection screen first. No? I'm getting a selection screen where we need to enter what range of what materials and message type is what defaulted, and there is one field here which is expecting the receiver logical system. So the three important fields on the selection screen is what range of materials, message type is defaulted, and a field to read what receiver logical system. So in our selection program also we have to read the range of what key field. What is the key field here? Employee number. No? So we require a selection screen where you have to read the range of employee numbers and message type should be defaulted, and I should have one field for reading the receiver logical system. So if you see the algorithm here for the sender program, just observe here. Yeah. So what is the procedure here? Create the selection screen. First step is what? Create the selection screen for reading the range of primary key fields. What is the primary key field in our table? Employee number only. No? So I need to create the selection screen for reading the range of primary key fields and default to the message type. What is the default? What is the message type in our case? EMP, MSG, and a field for reading what? Partner logical system. What is the partner logical system in our case? 630 RECV is a partner logical system. 630 RECV. Done. So let me do it part by part here. So if I open that SC 38. Let us open this program. So the first step is we need to generate the selection screen for reading what? The range of what? Employee numbers and default in the message type, all those. Let me come in the rest of the code for the time being. Done. So see here, what I am doing here, I am reading the selection, I am generating the selection screen for reading the user input. What I am doing, let's see, I declare a variable employee number which is referring to the employee number field. Then I created a selection screen block which we know in our basic ABAP. Yeah, what I am doing in that selection screen, I am using select options. To read the range of any values, we require what? Select options, no? That any of you know in our basic ABAP. Okay. So in select by using select options, I am reading the range of employee numbers. Then I require one field for reading the message type. So message types are stored in which table? ED MSG. What is the field which stores the message type? MSG type, obligatory, default, and so on and so on. So I'm making this particular message type input field as what? Obligatory, and I'm defaulting the message type. Then there is another input field where we have to read the logical system. Already we know what is the table which stores the logical system, TBDLS. In that, what is the field docs is. I'm closing the block, that's all. So see now, when I execute this so far, I got a selection screen. When I say FH, yeah, okay. If you want to give the selection text here, logical system. Here I'll just say the receiver what logical system, and this is message type for what employee, then employee numbers. Activate this and give the selection text. So when I execute, done. I got the selection screen where you have to enter the range of employee numbers. The message type is defaulted and I require one field where I have to enter the receiver logical system. This we need to enter and then click on what execute button. So when I click on execute button, what my program has to do based on this employee range, it has to read the data from the table. What is the table in our case? Z IDOC EMP. Okay, it has to read the data from the table, then generate the IDOC, store this particular employee data in the IDOC, and then distribute that particular IDOC. Okay, so for that, what you have to do is, in order to generate the IDOC and distribute that IDOC, we have one particular function model. We have a function model called as master underscore IDOC underscore distribute. So if you go to SC37, we have one standard function model master underscore IDOC underscore distribute. So always in the selection program, that is in outbound program, always you have to use this function model. What is the purpose of this function model? It is responsible for generating the IDOC and distributing the IDOC. So if you see the import section, already we know in our basic ABAP, before calling any function model, we have to keep the parameters ready, we have to keep the mandatory parameters ready, and then pass that particular parameters to the function model. So if you see this, understood, for any kind of data, this is the same function model, master underscore IDOC underscore distribute. Okay, so you can see the import section. Out of many import parameters, the first one is what? Mandatory parameter. What is this parameter here? We need to prepare a work area of what type EDI DC. So already 1 week back we have seen the architecture of IDOC, the structure of IDOC. Every IDOC will contain three records: control record, data record, and status record. And we understood that control record information is stored in which table? EDI DC. So since this is a mandatory parameter, I need to prepare a work area of what type? EDI DC. What this EDI DC contains, we already know. It is like an envelope of a letter which stores the sender and receiver information, including the message type and what? IDOC type. So I need to prepare a control record of type what? EDI DC. Okay, so that's what I have done here. Just observe here. So whenever we click on this execute button on the selection screen, what is the event triggered? Start of selection. So that's why in the start of selection event, okay, I am preparing the control record. So see this. I need to prepare a work area of what type? I need to prepare a work area of type EDI DC. If you see this EDI DC, this VIDC is structure. It's a table basically. What is the structure of this? It contains some 49 fields. Okay, so some of the fields you can see: partner number, type of partner, partner number of receiver. All this information you have to provide. Okay, it also contains what information like what IDOC type. It also contains information like message type. Somewhere it will be there. Yeah, EDI message type. Okay, so we need to provide all those information. So I need to prepare a work area what type? EDI DC. So that's what I have done here. See, I dictate a work area of type EDI DC. I'm specifying the partner type, partner number. In your partner number, we are reading on the selection screen. What is the field which stores at P underscore access? I'm assigning that message type is what field? P underscore message type. Then IDOC type is what? In our case, ZMP IDOC. So I prepared a control record. These are the minimum parameters. We have to store the partner number, message type and what IDOC type. Out of this 49 fields, I'm setting the data for what? Some 4 fields because these are important fields you need to set. So one parameter is ready. Control record is ready. Next, what is the other signature? Any of these two are optional. Export I need not check because any of they are optional. Export any of there are no parameters. I'll go to changing. Nothing is there. In the tables, yeah. In the tables, already we know whatever is there in the tables is nothing but what? Internal table. Whatever is there in the tables is nothing but internal table. So I need to prepare two internal tables. Again, we know this what are the parameters are there in the tables will act as some parameters might act as import, some parameters might act as export. So we need to read the description and check what internal tables we have to pass and what internal table the function module returns. Okay, so you can see that it is expecting two internal tables. One is of type EDIDC, another is of type EDIDD. So if you see the description, what is saying the description? Control record of created communication IDOCs. When we are running the BD10, when you run the BD10, we are getting the selection screen where we are entering the range of materials, and when we execute, we are getting some message, some so and so master IDOCs, and then so and so communication IDOCs are generated. So communication IDOCs are generated only after running what? Selection program. It is the IDOCs will be generated by what system. So understanding is this internal table will be returned by SAP. How can you say it is going to return by reading the description? It is saying what? Control record of created communication IDOC. So it is going to create the communication IDOCs and it is going to return that data in the form of internal table what? EDI DC. So my job is, since it is mandatory, I need to just pass blank internal table of what type? EDI DC. In the runtime, SAP will return the internal table of so and so type. That's the reason you can observe here. I declared an internal table somewhere here. Yeah, you can see. I declared an internal table, this one. LT underscore com underscore IDOCs type table of what? EDI DC. So I just declared an internal table of type EDI DC. There is one more internal table you have to prepare. Data records of what? Master IDOC. So this internal table we have to prepare and we have to pass. Okay. What is this internal table type EDI DD itself? So already we know EDI DD is the structure which holds a which EDI DD is the structure related to data record. Already we know in the data record, we have two sections, admin section and data section. You can observe here, segment number we have, segment name we have, and S data we have. So segment number will be dynamically generated by SAP itself. Segment name we have to pass. Segment name we have to pass. And S data also we have to pass. Already we know the purpose of S data. I told that the entire segment data will be concatenated and will be stored in the field called as what? S data. It will be concatenated and stored in the field called as S data. So out of these three fields, segment number, segment name, S data, I need to set segment name. I need to set what? S data. Segment number will be dynamically generated with SAP itself. So what is understanding? I need to prepare an internal table of what type? EDI, DD. Okay. So to prepare the internal table, first of all I have to prepare the work area and then append. That's what I have done here. Just observe. So what does it say? I declared a work area of type EDIDD and I declared an internal level of type what? EDIDD. So see this. So in this EDIDD, what are the fields I need to prepare? Segment name, I cannot code the segment name, but S data, which will hold the segment data. So I need to get the data from my sender table, that is employee number, employee name, designation. I have to concatenate that into what? A single field, and that concatenated data I have to assign it to what? S data. That's what the logic I wrote here. See, I declared an internal table based on my table, right? So just observe here. What I did here, see, select star from Z IDOC EMP into table so and so, where employee number in what? The select option range. If the data is successfully retrieved, what I am doing, see, I am looping my internal table. Try to understand this. I am looping my internal table, and inside the loop only, yeah, since we may have multiple records here, at the table level, the employee number is what? Integer. Employee name is character, designation is also character. But when you are assigning to S data, we have to concatenate. Na? That's why what I did is I declared another structure of type what? ZEMP set. What is the ZEMP set? It is nothing but a segment structure. Na? Yesterday we created a segment with the name what? ZEMP SEG. Whenever we create the segment in W31, a dictionary structure gets created. So if I double click on the C, ZEMP seg. ZEMP seg is a segment structure which has got all the character fields. Na? So what I am doing here is whatever the employee number we have received, employee name designation we have retrieved from the database table, understood? It is stored in the internal table. I am looping each record into work area. That work area data I am assigning it to what? Segment fields. Why I am assigning it to segment fields? Because segment fields will contain what? We load the data in what? Character format. That's the reason I must assign it to what? I must assign it to segment structure. Then you can see I'm assigning a segment name S data. So here this is important. S data equal to what? LS underscore EMP underscore SCG. What is this LS EMP SCG? It is a segment structure which contains all the character fields. No? It will append, it will concatenate all the three fields and assigns that word as data. Then I'm appending it to internal table. So once the internal table is ready, I'm calling the function model by passing the control record, by passing the empty internal table into the communication docs, and this internal table anyhow we have prepared. And inside